Three and one. So good morning, everybody. I am hoping, and I'm going to have Nathan, my buddy, check this while I check mine, but we should be live on Facebook if you joined us. Somebody just dropped like a one or a two in the comment section, so I know that we are doing this right. Nathan, do you see us live on my Facebook stream?
I see us live. I'm giving like lots of thumbs up right. Oh, I think you can hear me on my phone.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, you'll get feedback. So, I do see us. All right, everybody. And we've got 6 people. So, to the 6 people that have started off and joining us, I am so excited. This is both new technology for me and sort of a new little thing that I wanted to do. And I could think of nobody better to do this with than Nathan. So, this is Nathan Cook. I don't know how to do that. We'll have to work on that during the show. If you are following, drop a 1 if you're on Nathan's team, a 2 if you're on my team in the comments section below. Now, come on, lots of 2s, lots of 2s, lots of 2s. I want lots of 2s in the stream because if you're on Nathan's team, it's a 1. Okay, we've got Tyson. He's on my team. I know Tyson. He's on my team. Show the comment. So I got 1 and Nathan's got none. I love this.
No, you got
Nathan. 2. wait. Nathan, you can't cheat. So everybody,
I'm voting for you.
The reason I asked Nathan to join me is he has he's got great wisdom, but Nathan is the kind of person that, no matter what's going on, he finds the optimism. He finds the moment to life. You always know that, and he's focused and he's driven, but he doesn't take himself so seriously that if this whole technology blows up in the middle, he's not going to go home crushed because
I might go home.
Morning, I see you there below.
Crushed.
And so that's one of the great things about Nathan. If you don't know, loaded. There we go. So that should be, yep, I think I just hit show. It may pop up here in a minute. But that is Nathan's Facebook page, so you can follow him along. But he has got great wisdom, great humor. He's always an inspiration. He's always a lot of fun. And he has great wisdom. So don't forget to follow Nathan if you're on Team Nathan. Hey, Lisa. Lisa came into this because I was on an intentional living call with her the other day, and we had this conversation, and I sort of said, I would really like to do something live on Facebook with 2 people. And Lisa said, that would be a lot of fun too. And so in that moment, massive immediate action, and that's what I encourage, and I'm sure you do too, Nathan, as your clients, to not think but act.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge thing, because we overthink things. Oh, I don't know about you, but I know I do.
I come from a German Lutheran mechanical engineer household. We think a lot.
So you don't think at all. You're all about doing.
And so what I decided to do was I think I hung up that interview, and then I jumped on the phone. I said, Nathan, I need you on Saturday. And I kept begging him and begging him. Was Nathan? He said, yes. So we are here. And the great thing about Nathan is he has no idea what he signed up for. He is completely clueless about it. So, Nathan, what we're going to have you do is we're going to play some music in the background, and then you're going to dance for it.
Oh, my God. Look, my wife was watching your video the other day, and she said, this looks
nice. We'll just get like the new Chippendales live on Saturday. But anyhow, what I've done is I'm just going to give you a quick minute, Nathan. Tell people about you. Tell people about what your area of focus is. You're a fellow JM tier, and I know we all do things differently.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I was actually thinking about this. Actually, I said what I did to about 12 people yesterday. So it's great that you're asking me this because I'm really good now that I've gone through 12 really bad rounds of this. It's interesting because there are so many coaches out there, and a lot of coaches, they do similar things, especially if they're coaching in a really good manner. They're asking lots of questions. And yes, and Eric is one of those amazing coaches. It's interesting though, because it's all about the power of the question and unlocking mental framework within someone's mind to be able to take a step forward. And so, as I was really contemplating this the beginning of the year, what is it that Nathan does? What does Nathan do really well? And I couldn't figure out what it was. And people are like, "Oh, Nathan, you're so awesome. You're so great." And I'm like, "I don't know what you're seeing, but I'll just continue to rest and understand that there's something in there that's great." And I came to this little piece last year, and it carried over to the beginning of this year, which was my purpose in life is to help people be. And it's a very simplistic concept, but it goes extremely deep. And that is the fact that, for me growing up, I made compromises at specific times in my life. I made compromises where I gave up part of my personality. I gave up a dream. I gave up part of who I was. And the difficulty in that is, how do you get that back? Because you're now striving to become someone else. Like when I got into the John Maxwell team, my first thought was, I'm going to be the next John Maxwell. I think every single person who gets in the John Maxwell team, they're like, I'm going to be the next John Maxwell. I'm going to be a great speaker. I'm going to be awesome. Yeah, we know, Eric. You're so humble, so you didn't think that at all.
I want to be the next Paul Martinelli.
But it's interesting though when you think about it, because we're always striving to become someone else. You meet with a consultant, and the consultant says, "Oh, you need to be like this other company. They're doing this way better than you're doing this." And there's nothing wrong with taking things from other people and other companies to up level your game. But at the very deep core of yourself, you have to know who you are. You have to know who you are at your core. And so for me, I'm really letting go of this. Like, I have to look good. I have to look perfect. I was going to I did a Facebook Live yesterday just to tell everyone to get on this today. And like, I'm looking at my hair and the wind is blowing it. And I almost look like Donald Trump. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is awful. And I just kind of thought, this is stupid. I'm just going to get on. I'm going to talk to, the people that are on. And I'm just going to be present. I'm going to be who I am. And the funny thing is, when we start to be who we are, we start to attract more in our life. And I'm sure that you've noticed this too. The more that you are who you are, Eric, people start to gravitate towards you. It's not someone that you are necessarily like, oh my gosh, I got to work with this person. They just naturally are attracted to you. So for me, I am all about being me, and I'm all about my clients being them. And not even just my clients, but every single person I run into on a daily basis, I look at them and I'm just like, hey, you're an awesome person. What makes you tick? When did you change as a kid to be this? And how can you go back to that? How can you bring that childlike mentality back? And I love, not to go on a tangent, but I love watching you, Eric, with your kids, because you have this childlike demeanor that you just love to play, and there's just something so wholesome, the relationship that you have with your kids, because you're so encouraging and loving, and you have this playful piece with your kids. And if we were all able to have that in our daily interactions, not just our personal interactions, but within our business contacts, if we were playful and really trying to help each other in a way that we're bringing each other out to the forefront, man, it is so powerful. So that's in essence what I do. In the short line is I help people be the people they were created to be.
Oof. I love that.
Right?
I help people become who they're meant to be.
Yeah, and I didn't even come up with that.
It's sort of like you peel back the wrapper and reveal what they are, their greatness within them. You're looking.
No, I'm reading Liz's comment at the moment. lesson learning.
That is, as a coach, Nathan really sees that within each of us, there is this sort of the caramely center sort of thing, and he helps us all dig through the nuttiness that lives within us to get to the caramely center.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
Nathan, I have to keep it simple. I have to make it, it's a holiday. It's Easter. You can tell I've already got my Easter basket out of my mind. Andrea says, help people be.
Yeah.
Just help people be.
Yeah, and it's so powerful. I've been reading Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz lately, and I'm not very far in the book. I'm a reader that soaks it all in, and I've got to think about it, and I've got to read it 12 times to really get a grasp on it. And this passage keeps coming up in every single interaction, and it's this idea that we look at other people in the context of their life, and we judge ourselves based on their context. And we say, it's like, oh man, I'm a really bad surgeon. I suck as a person. Well, that would be stupid if I was looking at a surgeon because they went to school. That's their passion. That's what they love to do. It would be like them coming to me and saying, oh man, I'm not a good coach. I suck as a person. And we judge ourselves in the context of other people's life and what their talents are versus looking at ourselves and who we are. And that is such a huge piece. Ben, Ashley, did I just see you? Oh no, Gail, bunny ears. I love that.
See, Gail, don't you love Nathan's laugh? It just takes all the tension out of the world.
But I mean, it really is this huge piece that, if we were really comfortable with who we are, and we really loved who we are, I mean, that's a huge thing. I wrote this on my board this morning because I was thinking of some of the things that have been powering my life lately, and it's love, it's transparency, and it's life. Love, transparency, and life. And if you can't love yourself, if you can't be transparent with yourself and with others, you can't really live. You have to be able to be present with people. And the funny thing is when you're transparent, when you show who you are as a person, and not as oh my gosh, I'm this perfect person all the time, but when you show up and you're transparent and you say, hey, these are things that I struggle with right now, I'm working towards them, people will all of a sudden, they let their guard down and they go, oh my gosh, I'm going through that same exact thing, and I've never felt like I could talk with anyone else about that. And you open up the conversation. There's this phrase I like to say, transparent lives change lives. So if you're transparent with me, I'm going to be transparent with you with the things that are going on in my life. And when I'm honest with myself, all of a sudden I'm going to be able to really work through the issues that I'm having and not kind of being wishy-washy and saying, oh, things are really great. Have you... And I know you want to say something because you went to grab something, and I'm not sure what it was, but have you ever you've asked someone, hey, how are you doing today? And they say, okay, I'm doing okay. And when I used to hear that, I used to say, just okay? Why aren't you good? You should be better than okay. And it's funny because why is it not okay to be okay? Why can't we be okay with who we are? Why can't we be okay understanding that we have some flaws? Maybe we're working on it, but we're okay. We can still move forward in life with who we are. So it kind of goes back to this whole thing of being. I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay. I'm a little bit crazy. I'm a little bit schizophrenic sometimes, I feel like. But at the end of the day, I'm okay. And the same thing with you, Eric. Even though you're an awesome guy, I love watching your posts. Sometimes I go, oh man, that was an interesting thing that he said, but you're still okay at the end of the day. You're still moving forward and people still love you. That's why we come together and we support one another, is because we're all okay and we're all just kind of moving through life, finding our way.
Well, and that's why I have Nathan here. He is a phenomenal coach. He prompted my brain. And one of the things I like about this software too, is if you notice that it's not reversed. So Wallace D. Waddles, um, for a month. But it talks about become rich, become rich by creating competition. And your outside have to match, your mind has to be as big as yours or as small, that competitive thinking that we all get trapped in is where we end up with a poverty mindset. That if we can instead create our own value, our own worth, our own significance, we're going to be abundantly rich. And in our industry as coaches, when we find that place where we are transparent and authentic with ourselves, it's like this, highway billboard that people start saying, man, I connect. I so connect to that guy. I got to go find him. I got to go seek him. Not because we're being competitive and being the next John Maxwell or Paul Martinelli. I'm going to be better than him anyhow. But because we're creating our own richness of who we are. And that's a big thing that I work with clients is really like, man, you're from the most divine. You are part of creation beyond creation beyond. And you don't see that value? Let me help yank it out.
That is so good.
And so, thank you. See, phenomenal teaching. Now, you don't think we're just hanging out and talking. No. I had to set Nathan up because that's the kind of relationship we have. So, I'm going to I have this game plan for us, Nathan, and it's not a drinking game per se, because it's only 8 o'clock in the morning there in Oregon. So, Oregon. How do the people there say it?
It's pronounced Oregon. And before we jump forward, I want to, because I think Ben Ashley actually has a really great question, which is, how do you overcome placing other expectations above your own? What do you think about that? How do you overcome that when other people place expectations on you and you're trying to live up to their expectations, but maybe they're not what you expect for yourself?
All right, Ben. So this is not going to be a popular answer. Just telling you, you may end up tuning me out after this. But it takes seasoning to be able to say, thank you, but no, this is my turn. Your expectations are not that, I'm sorry, this is my turn. I was created for my turn, not to live out your expectations, your unfinished dreams, your needs, your wants, your desires in me, but this is my turn. And so, though I can place expectations out into the universe, I can't place them onto people. Because the minute I place them onto people, I sort of limit the divineness that's within them. If I have an expectation of Nathan to be a great house painter, and Nathan was really designed to be a great writer, the more I try and force Nathan into my expectation, the more I'm sort of struggling against his true divine purpose. And I don't want to go up against that wall. So when I look at people's expectations on me, I often will ask, is that in line with who I am, what I want to become, or what I feel called to become? And if it is, then okay. But if it's really something they need from me that doesn't fit the me that I want to be, this is my turn. Because we spend so much energy racing around. And you guys all know this. The minute you meet that person's expectation, they add another one and another one and another one and another one. And pretty soon you spend your whole life running around meeting all these kind of crazy people's expectations, and you never get a turn to find out who you are. So that's kind of the way I would do it, Ben.
Yeah, I was as you were talking, it reminded me, and I'm going back to one of the old guys here, Napoleon Hill. It reminds me of chapter 9, where he's talking about persistence. At one point, he says, millions of people neglect to acquire belated educations after having left school because they fear criticism. Countless numbers of men and women, both young and old, permit relatives to wreck their lives in the name of duty because they fear criticism. That, when I read that, that like strikes such a crazy chord with me, because constantly we give ourselves up to the expectation of other people. I love my parents. My parents challenged me to go further in life. They challenged me to become better. They wanted me, they wanted me to think bigger than what I was thinking. However, with that pushing, I felt like they wanted me to become a doctor. And so I pushed myself to try and go and become a doctor. How many of you watching had a parent say, "Oh, you need to be a doctor. You need to be a physician. You need to be fill in the blank." And what's funny is we go, "Okay, yeah, that's not really what I want, but in order to please you, I'm going to do this." And we do it. We had this thing in our minds of duty, but yet at the very end of the day, the person that you see in the mirror is the greatest duty that you have to serve. If you do not serve yourself, and this isn't in a selfish way. So for those of you that are going, "Oh my gosh, Nathan's talking about us being selfish. He's crazy." No, this is an idea of I like to say this example. If you're in the middle of the ocean and you are in a ship, and you see someone else whose ship is on fire and it's going down, and you go to rescue them, and you've got a hole in the side of your ship because you haven't taken care of the things in your own life, your own heart, your own dreams, the things that you have been called to do in your life. If you're not taking care of that, how in the world are you going to save them? Two sinking ships does not make a whole ship. It's crazy. It's the same thing with people who get into marriage and they say, "Oh my gosh, I found my greater half. I found the other half." No. You are a whole person. If you come into marriage as a half a person, you are going to be half of a person in marriage. Two halves do not make a whole in marriage. It's two wholes that make one. That's the whole piece. And so it's crazy to me. And the reason why I'm getting all fired up about this is because I deal with this all the time. I deal with people in my life who are friends, who are clients, who say, "Man, I'm not going to go after that dream because my parents think I'm crazy." They're 50 years old and they're still listening to their parents. They're smarter than that. They've had more education. They have really challenged their thinking, and for some reason, there still is this attachment to duty. Like you do not owe your parents anything for raising you. That was their job. Now, you want to love them and have a relationship with them, and you want to be adults. You want to develop that relationship, but you should not feel like you are indebted to your parents because they fed you, because they put a house over your head. I mean, let me ask you that, Eric. Like, for you, how would you feel if your kids grew up and they said, "Well, we don't want to go after our dreams because we feel indebted that we really need to make sure that we take care of our dad and not go forward." How would you feel about that?
I would feel so happy. They're 7 and 8. Seem like all they're doing is like pulling stuff out of me. We're getting a little buffering on your side, Nathan. I don't know if there's anything you can sort of adjust.
Let me see.
My kids, and Rick, I think it's only on Nathan's side, but with my kids, I often feel like right now that 8 and 7-year-old gap is where they're always pulling out of you. And I tell them, as soon as you turn 18, you're getting a job, you're leaving the house, and you're sending your checks home.
Yeah.
So I'm really not sure. I do want them to chase their life and live their dreams, and I'm trying to plant that into them right now. My son right now is in this really weird, and I think as adults, especially in relationships, we all do it. He's in this weird thing that I'll ask him, like, "Do you want hot dogs or a sandwich for lunch?" And he'll go, "You pick." I'm like, oh. I'm okay with only having to pick once in a while, but he's defaulted to this you pick thinking. And so today I said, "Well, I pick, you get nothing." And I left. And he's like, no, I want a hot dog. I'm like, the next time somebody asks you what you want, you say, I would like a hot dog. Is that okay? Because I don't want him to develop this pattern of you pick. Now he's 8. I'm sure when he's 13, he'll be more than happy to find more reasons to force me to argue with him. But I think we all do that in life. We sort of forfeit our hands and say, well, you pick what my life is going to be. Because I don't want to make a wrong decision. I don't want to disappoint you. And if I dream it and it's not possible, then I end up empty-handed. So, so yes, this morning we went to we went for our morning walk. We do it on Saturday. We stopped by the pastry shop. I said, which one do you want? He said, you pick. I was like, okay, I'm picking this one for me. And I intentionally had the lady just put the one in the bag. I paid for it and I walked out. And he said, well, where's mine? I said, you didn't want anything. He said, no, I told you to pick. I said, well, I picked nothing. I'm trying to sort of, yes, and gentle parenting means teach him how to make choices. And if the choices can't be achieved, then how can we achieve it? And so I think we need to do that as well. I am sorry, you guys, for the buffering. I'm not sure where it's occurring. I know we're going to have this available maybe when it's non-live, it'll stream easier. But stick with us. I think Nathan's got it worked out. He seems a little more stable. So, Nathan, I wanted to go back to our game we're going to play because I like this.
Because you want me to dance.
I know. Look at the name. The good thing about gingers is you can always just like paints their face. So I made up a whole bunch of these cards.
Okay.
I'm still trying to work out how do you do this on camera. So so imagine the possibilities. These used to be they're thank you cards that I use in my business. And on them I wrote a whole bunch of words that you and I both know.
Oh no.
Things like
no, you and I both know, right?
Influence. You get them. You know where they all came from. Books like Think and Grow Rich, Science of Getting Rich, 50 Laws, 20.
So,
on the artist, make some envelopes for them to come in.
For those of the people that are on live right now, are you able to see Eric? Because I can see Eric, but like from my Facebook live feed, I'm only seeing myself.
I'm sorry, I bumped the wrong button. There we go.
It's like I don't see him.
So anyhow, for the rest of you, demo I made up. Oh, okay. Left is right and right is left. I know. And then I put a bunch of words on them. And then I had my son, my artist son, create some envelopes for him. And so we had to have a theme because, you can't just do something. So, wait a sec.
Hey, Eric, for the people who are on right now that are like, man, what's up with Eric's spotty Wi-Fi? Where are you broadcasting from today? Because I don't think you've told half of my people where you're coming from.
I'm in Uruguay, and so I live in a third world country by choice. Not sure why. And so, no, I do know why. It's the beach. But so sometimes our Wi-Fi, and so here's just a learning lesson for you in America is we have to buy our Wi-Fi based on usage. Like you don't get unlimited 25 high-speed gigabytes for $49 a month. You have to sort of like, I anticipate using this much Wi-Fi in the month, and then you go out and you pay for it. And then as you pay for it, if you overuse it, then they shut it off. Well, I'm paid up for quite a while, but that doesn't guarantee good service. So hopefully it will start to clear. But so we have, you'll get these green clovers, red balloons, orange stars, blue diamonds, yellow moons, pink hearts, and rainbows. So the Lucky Charm symbols. I know we forgot some folks. Come on, give me a break. It's just a game, not life. All of those of you who are high C personalities, yes. So now what I want Nathan to do is he's allowed, or you guys can pick for him, to pick either a green clover, a red balloon, an orange star, a blue diamond, a yellow moon, a pink heart, or a rainbow.
I don't like this game. I have no control, do I? It's in the control of everyone else.
So we have, somebody said do them again. So we have green clover,
Okay.
Red balloon. These are the Lucky Charm symbols we grew up on. Red balloons, orange stars, blue diamonds, yellow moons, pink hearts, and the rainbow.
Sometimes it's hard to see the pictures from the back, right? Oh, seriously, Albert? Really, the rainbow? Of course you'd pick the rainbow.
Is that the one you want to go with? Is that your final answer, Nathan?
No, I didn't say rainbow. No, they said rainbow.
We've got red balloon from Joseph.
Okay, Joseph, I'm liking this. Am I just supposed to pick a random one, or are they picking for me?
An envelope.
Well, I know there's an envelope. Wait, what? No unicorn?
My son is 8, and I had to do these last night with him. You're lucky the colors even got there. I was ready to write just green clover, red.
So am I picking?
Ooh,
am I picking, or are they picking for me?
You're picking, or you can take the audience advice. You know, this is like that lifeline. You can go to them, or you can go on your own.
Okay, guys. If you want me to pick yours, I want you to, like, in a very brief, like, small thing, tell me why you think I should pick that. Like, don't just tell me like rainbows. Yeah, I know you think I'm a flamboyant guy, and you know it's not like it's the first time that. Seriously, of course, Ben Ashley is going to say rainbow. Okay. I think the majority of people want me to go with rainbow. So I guess I'm going with the rainbow.
I feel very Karnak. You're too young for that. There used to be this guy on TV called Johnny Carson, and he would pull out the envelope and say, and the answer is, long time ago TV.
I like that. I like that, Ben. I'll take that because I have a colorful personality.
So what my son did is he went through the stack of cards that I wrote names or words on, and then he put a word in each envelope. So I don't even know what's in your envelope. I just know.
Are you seeing some of these responses? Like, these are good reasons why. So we've got Ben Ashley said colorful personality. Albert said I'm many facets.
She wants the end of the rainbow. I like that, Gail.
I like Gail's. I think Gail probably has the best one so far because she wants to see what's at the end of the rainbow.
Gail's brilliant, so I'll go with her. Karnak the Magnificent. Thank you, Albert.
Yeah, that's showing your age.
At 11 o'clock at night back in the 70s is with me. Yes. I feel old. So I don't know what's in the envelope. I know it is one of the words that I use these sometimes for when I need to write. I just flip through and think of an idea. So I don't know what's in your rainbow card. But what I'm going to ask is, oh, it's good.
By the way, this pot of gold thing is like Ben. Like, we had this conversation probably 4 weeks ago about if it's possible to be Asian and Irish, and oh my gosh, he was trying to speak Irish with an Irish accent and just putting pot of gold, trying to hear him say, "Oh, me pot of gold." It's hysterical. Sorry, I get distracted easily.
Well, you know, Luis from Panama. I knew he's Chinese. It's very confused. It's like, what do you eat for dinner? Take out Chinese or take out, you know?
I didn't realize Luis was Irish. Huh.
So I have looked at your word, and I'm going to tell you, this is a really good word.
Okay. I'm kind of scared.
So what I'm going to do is just ask you to give us, like, not a minute with Maxwell. I should make you do a minute with Maxwell because you said you wanted to be him. But I'll let you have like 3 or 4 minutes to teach on this word. So you ready for your word, or do you need to like go to your teaching space?
Do I need to have like a timer for this? Should I time myself?
No.
Is it actually going to be a minute?
You see personalities just like tip over the fun scale, don't you?
Okay, so here's the thing. I have no C in me. None. Zero. Zip. Nada. On my scale, out of 100, I have 7. I have 7.
Because had you noticed, I didn't do the rainbow colors in the right order and things like that. But no, the room will tell us when they think they've gotten a fill of the teaching. So do you want your word?
No, but yes.
It's legacy.
Lasagna. Okay.
No, it's legacy.
Oh, man.
So your word is legacy. So teach us what that word means to you in your life right now. What is your legacy going to be? How are you living that word?
So most people, when they talk about legacy, they're thinking, at least from my perspective, what I hear them saying is, I want to have some type of success in my life that I can give that to other people, and usually it's a financial kind of legacy that most people are talking about. They want to get to a position, they want to get to a high level, but I would challenge you that there is something even greater when it comes to success. A lot of people focus on being successful. Very few people ever focus on significance, and significance is where you find a legacy. Success in life is when you're trying to build yourself up to get to another place in life. Significance is when you're building other people up. And because you build other people up, that means they're going to outlast you. And not only will they outlast you, but if you empower them to be leaders of other people in their lives, they will continue to pour into other people. And that is the legacy. The legacy is what we teach other people. It's how we empower other people to live their lives. So I don't know what your legacy is in your life. My legacy in my life is to be who I was created to be and help people live into who they were created to be. I don't want you to be the next Shania Twain. I don't want you to be the next Rocky Balboa. I don't want you to be the next John Maxwell. I don't want you to look at someone else and go, if I'm going to have a decent legacy, I've got to be that person. There's a legacy inside of your heart that is calling you out right now. And in fact, here's what I'm hearing. Right now, where you are, maybe you feel like you're in a desert. Maybe you feel like you're in a desert and you're not sure what your legacy is. What is calling you forth? And what needs to happen now is you need to break the stagnation. You need to break where you are right now and take a step forward. I'm reminded, I love this word of legacy because it reminds me of a book that I just currently read, which is, it's going to come to me. It is The Alchemist. So I was reading The Alchemist, and The Alchemist just punched me in the face with reality of where I was in life and my legacy, because it talks about your legend, who you are as a person, and how we go through life and how we're discovering who we are. As we go through life, we make connections with other people. And those connections with other people, the interactions that we have affect their life path and where they are going. You have a choice in your life to lead a legacy where you influence people in a positive way. And influence, for those of you who have ever studied John Maxwell, the definition of influence is leadership. And the definition of leadership is influence. So as we go through life, are you going through life and influencing people in a positive way? For me, every single time I have an interaction with someone, my goal is to get them to see how awesome they are. And if they can't believe how awesome they are, my life's legacy is to let them borrow my belief until they can believe it themselves. Because that's what happened to me. I was working 5 jobs over 4 years ago. Two full-time, I owned a business, and I was just living life. And what came from that is someone stepping into my life, and they said, you should be a coach, you should be a speaker, you should be a trainer. You have great values, you're a great orator. This is something that I think you're called to be. And I said, no, that's not me. I don't think that's me. I cannot see that. And this person poured in my life. And I didn't know at the time, but because they were pouring into my life, because they kept saying, I see this in you, I see who you are inside, past all of the stuff that you've picked up, you can be that. The things right now that are going on in life are not the end of the world. They're part of your story. Every great story has trials. And we've all experienced some. So when it comes to this idea of having a legacy, your legacy is as you go through life, the lives that you touch, the people that you influence, and whether or not you did your due diligence to be who you were created to be, to love, to care, to be honest with those people, to show them your areas of brokenness, and to allow them to live fully as they are. And that's what legacy is to me. My legacy is how I interact with people and how I'm going to leave this world to the people that are still left behind after me. Because it doesn't matter what I achieve. It doesn't matter what I make in life. What matters is the people who will carry on past me, who will take the lessons that I have learned and that I've taught them through action in my life, right? Not through the concept of teaching, but through action and how I've lived my life. That's how you are going to create a legacy. That's how I create a legacy. So legacy today, the question that I have for you, how are you building your legacy with people today? I wish I had a mic, or
I'm
I
still
dropped
here,
the
Nathan.
mic.
I'm just trying to write it all down.
Oh, you're good. You're good. And even to go a little bit more, and I've gone way past. I think I've gone past 8 minutes. I don't know. We could be on here for hours. But do you remember the movie The Mission?
Yeah.
There is a scene in The Mission that is just so powerful, where he's going up the mountain and he's carrying this bag, and the natives, they keep throwing the bag down the hill, and he keeps going back down for the bag, and he keeps. And there's this repetitive piece until the part where he just breaks down. And I was talking to a client the other day, and I said, a lot of what you're going through in life is this right here. And what happens is, in life, we experience bad things. We make a bad decision, or life just happens to us. And we have the choice to learn from it, or we have the choice to keep on going without the lesson. But the funny thing is people take the lesson and they continue to take the hurt and the pain with them. They take the challenge and they take the lesson with them. But the heaviest part about learning is the pain that we go through. And yet we're all carrying that with us, rather than taking the lesson and moving forward. So in life, with your legacy, you have to be able to let go of the pain that people have caused you. You have to let go of the stupid decisions that we've made. I've made plenty of stupid decisions in my life. But we have to let go of those decisions, and we have to pick up the lesson that we learned from it and move forward with the lesson, because the lesson is much lighter than the pain that we experienced, than the decision that we made. And so, maybe that's for you in your life right now. If you're watching this, maybe this is for Eric. Right now I'm speaking to myself too. There's pain in my own life that I carry the pain rather than picking up the lesson. If there's pain in your life that you've had, and you're saying, man, like this doesn't make any sense. Like, this is so awful, and you've carried it for so long. You have to say, okay, what is the lesson in this? Some people, I had an abusive family growing up. Tell me how I'm supposed to learn something from an abusive father. Well, I would ask you the question, do you know what a bad father looks like? Yes. So you go forward, and you are not a bad father because you know what it looks like to be a bad father. There are ways to learn through every circumstance in life. And as you pick up those little pieces, as you let go of those things, you're able to take those lessons, live from those lessons, show people how you're living, and that's when you become holy, which is a sketch word. I heard someone yesterday, I am not holy, which is funny because if you look at the actual root word for holy, which I can't say, if Albert's on, Albert could tell me what the root word for holy is, but holy means just to be different, to be set apart. I'm holy in my life because of the way that I act and the way that I treat other people. Eric, you're holy in the way that you act and in the way that you treat your kids from other parents who don't understand how to treat kids. And so we are being set apart. We're being set apart from other people in the way that we act. And that's another piece of our legacy, is we have to be different. Kadosh. Kadosh. Kadosh is the word for holy. Albert is absolutely awesome. He's taught me a ton of stuff when it comes to like biblical principles and those types of things. So I think I went like way over my allotted. Am I at like 20 minutes now? I think I'm.
I don't know. I'm sitting here like typing notes, writing notes, thinking like, man, you all know why. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what's there. That's the Nathan side, I guess. Now you guys know why I said bring Nathan, bring Nathan to this experience. The first, it's going to be good. and here's the thing about my job when I do something like this is if I bring the right person, I just get to sit back, shut up. While he's on screen, I can be like over here eating on my cookies.
I'll have to get another piece of paper.
I know Nathan got it. I love it. Elsa, she got a whole notebook or a whole pad of paper filled out of it. But so Nathan, honestly, truly, thank you, brother, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now we have to retire this card so nobody gets it when I do this next time. So I guess maybe when I see you next, I'll have to give you your legacy card.
So I don't think it would be fair to go forward without hearing what your legacy is. It's awesome to ask me, but Eric, what is your legacy that you're leaving me?
Having technical difficulties here.
I'm sure you are.
What is my legacy? And I think you'll agree that our legacy, it doesn't necessarily transform, but it reveals itself differently as we move through life. It's sort of when I was little, I thought this was what I wanted to be a doctor. And then I realized that being a doctor meant helping people. And then helping people meant and ... And so I think we draw out a new level of legacy awareness as we become more educated, as we become more enlightened, as we transform, as John Maxwell would say, as our lid lifts, our awareness of the impact that lifts. And so therefore we pour more into our legacy because now we're like, man, I just wanted to help one person get across the street. Now I could actually help an entire village build, or whatever. So the same is true. I would say for me, when I look at where I'm at today, it's understanding that for me, I am. And that's sort of in the spiritual space of where I'm at right now, that I am. And the sooner that I can get comfortable with, I just am. I'm just am. I worry about others, then I can guide other people to that acceptance that you're enough. Like, and not like the you're enough average, but like you're enough. Like you are abundantly resourced. You have every power at your disposal. You're enough to make your dreams come through. You don't need to go out and buy this system and buy this thing and trade in that and give up that. That you're enough to make everything you desire, that you desire yourself in this world. And so that is where I'm at, is really learning that at a core level and then seeing it occur and manifest in the world around me so that I can then see that in others and guide them through it. And so really just unleashing other people to see what they have in them. I was on a quick, Nathan has to go to the bathroom.
No,
I'm not teaching.
No, because what you're saying, I've been reading.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to the bathroom. I was on a quick chat this morning with somebody, and Cece Sutton, love her, check her out. She's on Facebook. And we were talking about some hearing, almost like hearing and hearing and hearing. Paul would say it was being downloaded. And I sort of pushed to her this idea of who I thought I saw her as and where her business should be. Like I'm seeing this. Why aren't you? And she kept coming up with some, like resistance. And I kept saying, but I see it. And then at the end, she was able to go, that's it. It feels like where I should be. I've been letting my resistance, I've been letting my doubt, I've been letting my concerns stop me from stepping into who I am. And I'm going to borrow your belief, like you talked about, Nathan, borrowing somebody else's belief that that could be me. And I'm going to step into it. I'm going to let the law of momentum take over for a minute and see what comes. And so I left really charged because I was like, man, I just saw somebody like go from thinking little to thinking like, I am enough to make this happen. So I guess that's what I would say. But I do have some more envelopes if you want to keep playing the game all day.
When you said kind of being like a child and kind of growing up and trying to become, something great, it reminded me, and this idea of understanding that you're fully resourced, because it's something that we don't feel like we're resourced. Everyone feels like they don't have enough resources, but yet you are completely and fully resourced right now. And so I had to share this because it's been something that I've been reading consistently every single day, and I would be crazy not to share it. And so and let me put this out there: if you're not a person of faith, that's completely fine. This will work for you too. If I believe in God. Grand overall designer. I believe that someone created all the stuff that is around us. And for me, I'm a Christian biblical standpoint. So I just want to share this one thing. It's in 1 Corinthians 13. We've all heard, talking about love, but it's the end of this chapter that really strikes a chord with me every time I read it. And it's verse, let me look here, verse 12. So 1 Corinthians 13, verse 12. I'm going to go back just a little bit more. Verse 11. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man or a woman, I put my childish ways behind me. Now we see but a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall fully know, even as I am fully known. I love that because it paints this picture that we grow up. And as we grow up, we should look at ourselves and look at the condition of our heart and look at who we are. Like if you were looking in a mirror every single day, you would come face to face with the greatest resource person and your greatest enemy right in front of you. And as you begin to see who you are and recognize who you are, even though you think you are known, you become fully known to yourself who you are. That way you can develop into the person that you are. I love that. And that's what I hear you saying, is that every single day, as you reach in deeper, as you examine your heart, when you look at who you are as a person, the deeper you dive into yourself, the more you feel resourced, the more understanding you have of how great and resourced of a person you are, because you're digging into the greatest gold that's inside of you, your heart.
And yes, and amen, and drop the bomb, and little, those on Facebook Live can put the dancing hearts and thumbs up and all those things. And, I can't from where I'm at, but I would give you like the dancing thumb, and here's the little dancing heart and the smiley face.
I'm giving you the dancing heart right now.
And let me add to that, as you said, I was a child and I grew to a man. I often reach these points where I think I'm man, and then something is revealed to me, and I have to go back to that learning level of a child. And I think that's what we both do in personal growth, is we're aware that we may sit at a plateau. Oh, I'm in the man view now. I get to sit at the big kid table for the holidays. And then something is revealed to us. And if we're willing to take that personal growth, if we're willing to dive into that learning, we're okay with going back to being a child for a while. Because in that childhoodness is all the questions and the exploration and the discovery that brought us to manhood or womanhood. And so I do see that as a cycle, that chapter of like I grew up and I became aware and I looked in the mirror and I realized who I had become, but there were more questions and I went back. Yeah. And that's why personal growth is always going on, is always occurring on a variety of levels. And I will honestly tell you, Nathan, I know I give you a lot of crap in life. That's
You're
what
no
I think
different from
was
Ed
the
DaCosta.
I
So.
didn't want to have.
Say that last part again.
I said, I often think of you like the little brother I didn't want to have.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense now.
But what you've shared, what you've taught me, what you've brought to me and the people here today, with gratitude. I learned, I feel myself wanting to jump off and just like go into my place where I sit and, reflect and hear what I heard, and begin to figure out what to do with it. So Nathan, dude, love to you for doing this, for being a part of this experiment, this crazy thing. I know it didn't perfectly, and we've got some buffering and some issues, and I don't know what it'll look like on replay. I think there's a direct link that is this recording versus a Facebook recording. So if somebody wants that, I'll figure it out. But what I did learn today was just how incredible you are as a teacher and as a thinker, and how much work you put into your personal growth. Phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal. I so appreciate what you brought today.
And if you're watching this right now, if you're watching this, share this with someone. Like, and this isn't it's not to boast me, it's not to boast him, but it's to bolster this idea that each and every one of us, there's something inside of us that needs to be released. And it's in chains and it's in shackles, and it's time to come out and release the inner child inside of you. Let the inner child out to live life the way that you were created to be. If you believe that, if you're watching this right now, this is how you can tell me that you believe this, is I want you to share the video. Share the video. If there's something that I've said anywhere in this video, share it. Because the purpose of these is to get the word out. It's to get the word out that you can change. You are more than enough. Eric said that earlier today. You're more than enough. And if we could share it, if you share this with your Facebook community that you have, people that we can't reach, if one person out of thousands of people see this entire time was worth it. That's what I would ask you. So if you would, I've shared this twice with my people. They're probably thinking I'm crazy. But you know what? This is such good stuff that we're talking about. I would be crazy not to share this. So would you share this with your people? And write something. Actually, don't just share it. Write down what you got from our time here together. Write down your lesson, what you took away from this. Just say, like, in the caption, this was my lesson from this talk with Eric and Nathan. And then post. That way people can say, oh my gosh, I wonder what was said about that.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, as somebody who works with a lot of people, as it comes to social media branding and such, and marketing, is if you share and you just share, it's like, it doesn't care. But if you share and say, when I was watching or this was a call to awareness that I had, it compels people to be a part of it. And in doing so, for you as well, let's just go ahead and step over the marketing side for a minute. For you as well, you become a thought leader that they turn to you to find more information about the same topic. So don't be afraid to add to what we did. This is not, intellectual property. Please, if I got paid for intellectual property, I'd be broke.
My greatest thoughts in life were developed by other people. So everything that I've said today is not from me. By no means. I learned all of this stuff from great mentors, from being around Eric, Paul Martinelli, John Maxwell, Ed DaCosta, Bob Kittredge, Albert Roy. He was my martial arts instructor growing up. Every single one of these people poured into me. They poured into me because they loved me, because they taught me. Yeah.
I've stolen from the best and not given them credit.
It's true.
And some of them gave me permission, so we give you guys permission.
So go out, share it. Share some good news with people.
Well, Nathan, I'm going to wrap up because my kids have pretty much beaten down my office door. Yeah, I love them. No. You know, you can only use cookies and iPads for so long before they're like, Dad, it's Saturday. We have to go surfing or at least go to the beach and play or something. Actually, I can't wait. I want to humbly thank you, but this does not end with you. You have started something. There's some improvements that need to be made. I can see that over here, but I'll work on that on the side. So one of the questions that John always asks, and wait a minute, I'm not going to the bathroom.
Oh no, I think I know what question you're going to ask.
So good leaders ask great question. In it, John always says there's a couple questions he always makes sure he asks whenever he gets to be around great-minded people. And one of them happens to be, go ahead, Nathan, you know it.
What is the greatest lesson that you have learned?
Now,
Is that the one you're thinking of?
Who do you know that I should know?
Oh, who do I know that? Gosh,
that should be doing this next.
Let me think. I know a great guy. You should talk to Jeff Fast. Jeff Fast is a great guy. Another great guy is Ben Kincaid, but I don't think you're going to reach him because I have no idea where he is.
And who is? I'm sorry, I missed Jeff.
So
or do you want to send it to me off?
Jeff is an awesome guy. He's got a huge heart. He loves people. He loves community. And he lives here in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon. He works for a large automotive dealership, and his entire life is dedicated to serving others and lifting other people up. And he's got a huge philanthropic heart. So,
and I'm going to ask Nathan to help me to chase him down because I think it would be fun to do one of these with Jeff then.
Yeah, I'll even tag Jeff. I'm going to say, you know what, Jeff, you're next in the post here on the bottom.
Cool. And I'll have to have the rainbow card refilled. I'll leave that to my son to do before we get together. And no, I'm not going to tell you guys what were in the other cards.
Cheaters.
I did try and stack the deck by having like consistency, persistence, determination, consistency, and determination on the same card because those are kind of my heart words. But luckily, Nathan escaped with legacy.
I don't know about escape, but sure.
Well, you brought new insight to all of us. And so honestly, Nathan, I will send you this link. I don't know what it does after this. This is new technology. And I actually discovered some other technology similar and simple. So I may switch over to that. We'll see. But I honestly, I got to thank you, dude. Got to thank you. You made my weekend rock. Heck, I'm going to give you the whole week. You made my week rock. Now, just so you know, my calendar starts on Sunday.
Always. Oh, I am blessed, brother. I am blessed. Anytime anything I can do to add value to you is my goal in life. So
you've added tremendous. I mean, honestly, I got to tell you, dude. I was up all night long sweating this one.
Yeah.
Am I ready for Nathan?
Oh gosh, when
can I contain the wisdom that is Nathan? Can I keep it in the jar? And yeah. I am glad we just opened the top and let the wisdom of Nathan flow out because phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal.
I appreciate came out.
That's, it's funny because I do that often. I'll be in a think tank with somebody and they're like, that was a great idea. What did you say? I'm like, didn't you have the record button hit because it ain't coming twice. No, I'm going to thank you and I'm going to let you begin your day and I'm going to head down to do something with the kids. I think we'll see. We'll be out and playing for the rest of the day. Lisa sends her thank yous to you.
Thanks for joining, Lisa. And Eric.
Oh, it's you, dude. All the attention goes one of those directions, whatever it looks like. But I'm going to thank you, and I'm going to let you go now. Tyson says thank you. Tyson is in California. He sells real estate in the Hollywood Hills area. So if you want to become a Hollywood star, now that you've done this, Nathan, and move out there and get your big old house on the Pacific Coast Highway overview, Tyson can hook you up. And then Lisa and I will come and crash. And Chris will come out and hang out with us for an afternoon as well. And we'll just bring the whole gang because it's like a 20-bedroom house.
That's it.
You're buying.
I'll tell my wife that later.
Good cleaning. Yeah. Thank you again. I'm going to end the broadcast here. Nathan, I'll stick around for just a minute for us after, but let me hit this button.